Okay, so this is the manual for a Hyperion air handling unit. If and when we replace the airflow control board on this type of a system right here, it is imperative that we always make sure to set up the dip switches correctly. Now, the best way to do this is to just go off of the existing board and make sure those dip switches are set up correctly according to that. But then always double check them. So on the airflow control board, you've got two banks of switches. When I say bank, a bank of switches is this box right here. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is bank 1 or S1 and bank 2. We'll look at bank 2 here in just a moment. But S1, if you're referring to the switches, is S1-1. So that means that's bank 1, switch number 1. So if it says on the chart here to turn S1-1 to off and S1-2 to off, that means you have them in the left-hand position. And you can do different scenarios for different multipliers. So in this case, we're looking at the outdoor multiplier. We have a 3-ton outdoor unit, so S1-1 and S1-2 are off. Now we move to S1-3. If the switch is off, it means it's a heat pump. If it's on, it's an AC unit outside. So you have to verify that. Outdoor stages, S1-4. In this case, we're dealing with a 20 SEER unit. So we have 2 stages on. S1-5, do you have 1 compressor or 2 compressors? 16 SEER typically has 1, 19 has 2. This is an older manual, so it doesn't have the 17 SEER on here. And the 20 SEER has 2. So in this case, this one needed to be on. Alright. Now, if we go to the next page right here, S2, this is bank number 2. This is for the indoor unit. The one we were working on earlier was for the outdoor. The indoor unit, indoor model, S2-1 and S2-2 set the CFMs for cooling and for heating. Now, most of the time I will just leave these off. So we'll run at 370 CFM per ton in cooling and 420 per ton in heating. Now you could change that setup by turning S2-2 to on and leaving S2-1 off, and you'd be at 350 and 400. Okay, so alright, S2-3 and S2-4 switches for the cool off delay. So we can do 1.5 minutes at 100% off. We do off and off. We can do no delay, off and on. And then we can do 3 minutes at 50% on and off. And what we like to use, though, always is the enhanced. So you would make sure that S2-3 and 4 are both on, in the on position. And what this does is it follows this little chart right here. System's off, it gets a cooling signal, it goes up to 50% capacity. It runs at 50% capacity for 1 minute. Then it goes up to 80% capacity, and it stays at 80% capacity for 7.5 minutes. And then if it's needed, it goes to 100% capacity and runs the rest of that 100% capacity during the entire cycle. And then after the system drops the cooling call, see right here it says compressor operation on. So the compressor turns off, it drops the Y signal. The fan continues to run at 50% capacity for 3 more minutes once that's completed, and then it's back off. So that's why we like the enhanced. You get good dehumidification at the beginning of the cycle, and you get a nice purge in the system after the cycle's complete as well. And then you have the option to set your fan up for torque or constant CFM. And that's not a big deal. We just normally leave it to S2-5. High static situations where you have improper ducting, then that's nice to use that. Alright, so that's a little bit about dip switches and the importance of making sure they are set. A a high efficiency system like this one right here, it just flat out is not going to work as designed if you do not set up the dip switches correctly. They have to be set up correctly. And probably the most important ones are where you set the outdoor multiplier, the number of stages and the number of compressors, and then setting your enhanced mode on the indoor unit. If you don't set that up, that client is not getting the value out of that system. That's just the bottom line. And it's very, very, very important to make sure that gets done. Okay, thanks for watching.